Your passion isn't your greatest strength. It's your greatest test. We are told to follow our fire, to let our ambition burn bright. But what happens when that fire starts to burn us? What happens when the very thing that drives you is also the thing that is driving you into the ground, leaving you anxious, exhausted, and feeling more lost than ever? The problem isn't the fire itself. The problem is we were never taught how to be its keeper. There's a power inside of you. You feel it late at night, when the rest of the world is quiet and your head is loud. It's a current of energy that keeps you from sleep, your mind racing, with ideas, replaying conversations, sketching out futures, and feeling a deep, aching longing for something more. It feels like a raw, untamed force, a fire that can forge a new life, but could just as easily burn this one to the ground. This is not a journey about adding more fuel to that fire. It is not about motivation or hustle or becoming more productive. It is about learning to master this energy. We will walk through 9 ancient keys, forgotten principles that teach us not how to extinguish our inner fire, but how to transform it. We will learn to turn the chaotic, anxious blaze of emotion and ambition into a steady, unshakable power, a quiet strength that can weather any storm. This is a journey from being burned by your own energy to being warmed by it. There's a silent war being fought inside of you, and the world cannot see the battlefield. It's a war between the part of you that wants to create, to build, to love, to strive, and the part of you that, in the process, ends up sabotaging it all. It is the civil war of the modern soul, full of potential, yet paralyzed by pressure. You know this feeling intimately. It's the artist, staring at a blank canvas, so consumed by the vision of the masterpiece that they cannot make the first mark. Their passion for perfection becomes a cage. Their fire, meant to create, only illuminates their fear of not being good enough. It's the entrepreneur, fueled by a brilliant idea, who works 18-hour days, sacrifices their health, their relationships, their peace. They tell themselves it's for the dream, but the dream becomes a hungry ghost, and the fire of their ambition consumes the very life they were trying to improve. They build an empire on the outside, while their inner world turns to ruin. It's the person who loves with an intensity that feels cosmic. Their heart is a supernova, but that brilliant light casts dark shadows of jealousy, of fear, of a desperate need for reassurance. Their love, a force that should connect and heal, becomes a source of constant turmoil, pushing away the very person they want to hold close. This is the pain of the uncontrolled fire. It promises power, but delivers chaos. Have you ever found yourself there? It's 3 a.m. The room is dark, the house is still. Your body aches with exhaustion, a deep weariness in your bones. But your mind is screaming. It's a frantic engine with no off switch. It's replaying an awkward comment you made yesterday, over and over. It's pre-writing an email you have to send tomorrow, drafting and redrafting, agonizing over every word. It's spiraling into a catastrophe about money or health, or the state of the world, things you feel utterly powerless to change. There's a surge of energy in your chest, a real physical sensation. It feels like you need to run, to fight, to scream, but you are pinned to the bed by the weight of it all. You are trapped inside a machine that you built, a machine that is running itself into the ground. This is not a personal failing. It is not a sign that you are broken or weak. Ancient philosophers, men who lived in a world far simpler than ours, understood this struggle perfectly. The Stoic philosopher Seneca saw this inner turmoil not as a defect, but as a sign of great power that simply lacked direction. He saw a wild horse, strong and magnificent, that had never been taught how to be ridden. What if that restless, anxious energy isn't a curse? What if it's just a sign of your strength? Our world worships the bonfire, the big, loud, spectacular blaze. We celebrate explosive success, viral moments, overnight sensations. We build our careers and lives like a bonfire, piling on as much fuel as we can, as fast as we can, hoping to create a light so bright it will be seen for miles. And for a moment, it is beautiful. It is captivating. It crackles with energy and life, and people are drawn to its warmth and its light. But a bonfire is inherently unstable. It spits dangerous embers that can start fires you never intended. It consumes fuel at a frantic, unsustainable rate. And then, inevitably, it collapses. The roaring inferno becomes a pile of glowing coals, and then, cold, gray ash. And you are left in the dark, feeling more empty and exhausted than before, wondering where all that heat and light went. You are left with the burnout, the crash, the hollow feeling of, was that it? This cycle, from frantic blaze to cold ash, is the life of the uncontrolled fire. But what if there was another way? What if you could learn to separate the fuel from the flame? What if control wasn't about force, but about understanding? What if you could learn to build a different kind of fire? Not a bonfire, but a hearth. Something steady, something contained. Something that doesn't burn out, but burns reliably, day after day. A fire that warms, but does not consume. Asterisk, you are not your thoughts. You are the space they happen in. This is the first and most fundamental key. Without it, none of the others can be turned. Think about how easily your inner world is hijacked. You're having a perfectly fine day, and then you read an email with a slightly critical tone. Suddenly, the entire landscape of your mind changes. The sun goes out. A cold anxiety begins to creep in. For the next 3 hours, you are a prisoner of that one email. You dissect it. You argue with it in your head. You imagine the sender's intentions. Your peace is stolen, or a small worry pops into your head. A little what if? What if I fail the presentation? What if they didn't like me? What if I get sick? And that tiny seed, that insignificant thought, is given so much attention and energy that it grows into a monstrous tree that blocks out all light. You become lost in a forest of your own making. We live most of our lives like this, as puppets, dancing on the strings of our own automatic, unexamined thoughts and feelings. We believe the story our anger tells us. We believe the story our fear tells us. We react, we lash out, we shut down, we run away. All because a thought, a fleeting electrical impulse in the brain, told us to. It feels like we have no choice. The feeling comes, and the reaction is instantaneous. This lack of inner space is suffocating. What if you could create some room to breathe? There was a man who was the most powerful person in the known world. The Roman emperor, Marcus Aurelius. He commanded armies, he ruled over millions. He held the power of life and death in his hands. Yet, if you read the private journal he left behind, the book we now call Meditations, you don't find the thoughts of a god. You find the thoughts of a man struggling to be good, struggling to be calm, struggling to be wise. He wasn't writing for us. He was writing for himself. He was performing a kind of therapy, a daily practice of self-examination. He would write down his own flawed patterns, his own tendencies towards anger or despair. He famously wrote to himself, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." He understood that his inner world colored his entire experience of reality. And so he undertook the practice the Stoics called prosek, which simply means attention, vigilance, paying attention to your own mind. The resolution isn't to fight your thoughts. It's not to argue with them or suppress them. It's far simpler and far more profound. It is to watch them. Imagine you are driving. The traffic is heavy, you're running late. Someone in a silver car swerves in front of you without signaling, forcing you to slam on your brakes. And there it is, the familiar surge. A hot, tight feeling in your chest. Your knuckles turn white on the steering wheel. Your jaw clenches. A stream of furious words forms in your mind, ready to be shouted. This is the automatic reaction, the puppet on a string. But this time, something is different. In the small space between the car cutting you off and your body's reaction, a new voice appears. It's not a loud voice, it's quiet. And all it says is, "Ah, there is anger." That's it. It doesn't say, "You shouldn't be angry." It doesn't say, "You are a bad person for feeling this." It simply notes it, like a scientist observing a chemical reaction. And in that tiny moment of observation, a miracle happens. The anger is still there, you can feel its heat. But it is no longer you. You are no longer lost inside of it. You are the one who is watching it. You are no longer the storm. You are the sky through which the storm passes. This is the metaphor of the watchtower. Your consciousness, your true self, is a guard in a watchtower, overlooking the vast landscape of your mind. From this high, quiet place, you can see everything. You can see the dark storm clouds of anger gathering on the horizon. You can see the thick, disorienting fog of sadness rolling into the valleys. You can see the harsh, blazing sun of anxiety beating down on the fields. The guard's job is not to go out and fight the weather. The guard cannot stop the rain or command the clouds to part. To try would be madness. The guard's job is simply to watch, to be aware, to notice. A storm is coming from the west. The fog is lifting. The guard observes it all with a calm, detached interest, knowing that all weather is temporary. It comes and then it goes. Your thoughts and feelings are the weather of your mind. They are not you. They are transient events that pass through you. When you climb into the watchtower, you stop identifying with them. You create separation. That separation is freedom. Have you ever truly sat and asked yourself, when my mind is full of anxious thoughts, who is the one that is aware of them? When I feel a wave of sadness, who is the one that feels it? That awareness, that silent background presence, that is closer to the real you than any thought or emotion could ever be. What would change in your life if you stopped fighting your own mind? What if, when a difficult feeling arose, your only job was to get curious about it, to watch it, to feel its texture, its temperature, its energy, without needing it to go away, to simply let it be and let it pass, like a cloud moving across the sky of your awareness. This is the first key. It is the act of stepping out of the storm and into the watchtower. From here, you are not thrown about by every gust of wind. You can see clearly. You have perspective. And from this place of calm observation, you can finally begin to choose how you will respond instead of just reacting. The tension of the inner war begins to dissolve, replaced by a quiet, watchful peace. You have not silenced the fire. You have just taken your first step back from its edge. Your obsession with the grand result is the very thing that guarantees you'll quit. We have been taught to aim our fire at the wrong target. We point it at the mountaintop, the finish line, the final applause. And in doing so, we exhaust ourselves long before we get there. Think of any new habit you've tried to build. You start with a surge of inspiration. You're going to get healthy. You buy new workout clothes. You clear your pantry of junk food. You have a vivid image in your mind of a future, fitter, happier you. The fire is blazing. For 3 days you are perfect. You eat clean. You exercise hard. The bonfire of your motivation is magnificent. And then, day 4 arrives. You wake up sore. You're busy. The initial thrill has faded, and the mountain top you envisioned looks impossibly far away. The bonfire is now just a few flickering coals. A single thought enters your mind. This is too hard. I'll never make it. And just like that, you quit. You promise to start again next Monday, or next month, or next year. The cycle repeats. We do this with everything. Our careers, our creative projects, our relationships. We live for the explosion of the climax, and we despise the slow, quiet, unremarkable work of the process. The conflict is this: we want the reward without the work, the victory without the battle. And this unrealistic desire drains our fire, leaving us in a constant state of starting and stopping, of hope and disappointment. What if the entire model is wrong? What if the secret to consistency isn't a bigger fire, but a different kind of heat? The Stoic philosopher Epictetus was born a slave. He knew from the most brutal and direct experience what it meant to have no control over his external world. His body, his freedom, his possessions, none of it was his own. And from this extreme powerlessness, he forged one of the most powerful ideas in human history, the dichotomy of control. He taught it like this, with beautiful simplicity. Some things are up to us, and some things are not up to us. What is up to us? Our thoughts, our judgments, our intentions, our actions, the effort we choose to put in, our character. What is not up to us? Everything else, the results of our actions, what other people think of us, our health, our reputation, the economy, the weather. The modern world tells you to pour your fire into the second category, to obsess over the results, to crave validation, to control the outcome. But this, Epictetus would say, is the definition of insanity. It is a recipe for anxiety and frustration, because you are trying to command things that were never yours to command. The Stoic resolution is a radical shift in focus. It is to withdraw your fire completely from the things that are not up to you, and to focus it with laser precision on the one tiny domain you truly own, your own choices and actions, right here in this present moment. This is the metaphor of the blacksmith's forge. A master blacksmith, preparing to shape a piece of steel, does not build a giant chaotic bonfire. A bonfire is useless. It's too big, the heat is uneven, it wastes fuel. Instead, the blacksmith builds a small contained forge. And inside, they cultivate a bed of glowing embers. The power is not in the size of the flame. The power is in the focus and consistency of the heat. The embers glow with a quiet, intense, reliable heat. It is this steady heat that allows the blacksmith to soften the metal and shape it. The work is slow, it is rhythmic. The sound of the hammer on the anvil, over and over. It is not glamorous, but it is this patient, focused process that turns a lump of raw iron into a strong, beautiful, useful blade. You must become the blacksmith of your own character, of your own habits. Your job is not to create a spectacular blaze of motivation. Your job is to tend the embers of your daily practice. Imagine you want to write a book. The bonfire approach is to wait for a week of pure inspiration, lock yourself away, and try to keep 50 pages in a blaze of glory, fueled by caffeine and willpower. This almost never works. The blacksmith's approach is to ignore the finished book entirely, to forget the bestseller list, the reviews, the cover design. Your job is to make the forge hot enough for today's work. Your job is to write one page, or even just one good paragraph. You sit down, you do the work. You focus all of your fire on the process of choosing the next right word. And when you are done, you have kept your promise to yourself. That is the victory. The feeling you get is not the thrill of a massive achievement, but the quiet, solid, internal nod of self-respect. You did the work you said you would do. You tended the embers for today. Do you see how this changes everything? It frees you from the crushing weight of your own expectations. If you focus only on your effort, which is always within your control, you can never truly fail. If you give your best effort and the project doesn't succeed, you have not failed. The outcome was never up to you. If you act with kindness and someone responds with anger, you have not failed. Their reaction was never up to you. What if you could learn to fall in love with the process? What if success wasn't the trophy at the end of the race, but the feeling of your feet hitting the pavement on a cold morning, just because you said you would run? Could you learn to redirect your fire away from the distant, imagined future and onto the texture of the present moment's effort? This is how you build a steady power. Not with grand, fiery gestures, but with the quiet, daily, almost invisible discipline of tending the embers. The frantic energy of "will I make it?" is replaced by the calm, grounded confidence of, I am doing the work. Your fire is no longer wasted on the uncontrollable. It is channeled into a small, hot, effective flame that can, over time, shape anything. Your life is being stolen from you, right in front of your eyes, by two thieves. Their names are yesterday and tomorrow. This is a quiet tragedy happening inside each of us. We are physically present in our lives, but our minds, our fire, our attention, they are almost never here. They are lost somewhere in the past, sifting through the ashes of regret, replaying old conversations, nursing old wounds. Or they are projected far into the future, rehearsing for anxieties that may never happen, chasing hopes that are just phantoms on the horizon. We live in a state of constant mental time travel, and it creates a ghost-like existence. You're sitting at the dinner table with someone you love. You are looking at them, you are nodding, but you are not there. Your mind is back at the office, worrying about a deadline. You are missing the only life you will ever have, because you are too busy rehearsing for a life that does not yet exist. You're walking in nature on a beautiful day. The sun is on your skin, the birds are singing, but you don't feel it. You don't hear it. Your mind is chewing on an argument you had last week, on something you wish you had said differently. The beauty of the present moment is invisible to you, because you are blinded by the ghosts of the past. The emotional conflict here is a profound and subtle sadness. It's the grief of a life half-lived, the realization that you are the primary spectator of your own existence, but you keep looking away from the stage. Your fire is not being used to illuminate the here and now. It's being used to power a time machine that only travels to places of pain. The philosopher Seneca, writing to his friend Lucilius, spoke of this constantly. He saw the people around him in Rome, busy, anxious, always rushing, and he saw them giving away their most precious, non-renewable resource, their time. He wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." He warned that we often suffer more in imagination than in reality. We are tormented not by what is happening, but by our memories of what has happened and our fears of what might happen. The present moment, which is often quite bearable, even peaceful, is crushed between the two massive weights of past and future. The Stoic resolution is not passive. It is an act of militant defense. It is the declaration that you will no longer allow your attention to be colonized by what was and what might be. You must choose, actively and repeatedly, to inhabit the present. This is the metaphor of the fortress. Imagine your mind as a walled city. It is your inner citadel, the only place you have to live. Every day, two great armies lay siege to your fortress. From the west comes the army of the past, with its cavalry of regrets and its infantry of resentments. From the east comes the army of the future, with its archers of anxiety and its siege engines of what if. These armies cannot breach your walls on their own. They can only get in if you let them. They send scouts to the gates, a stray memory, a sudden worry, and they wait for you to open up. And most of the time, we do. We swing the gates wide open, and we let the armies in. And they run rampant, looting our peace, burning our joy, and taking our attention captive. The practice of living in the present is the practice of guarding the gates. It is the act of standing on the ramparts of your mind and saying, "You are not welcome here today." It is declaring your mind as sovereign territory, where only the present moment has citizenship. How do we do this in practice? It is not as mystical as it sounds. It is found in the smallest, most ordinary moments. It is the act of drinking a cup of coffee. And I mean really drinking it. Not while scrolling on your phone, not while listening to the news, not while your mind is already at work, just drinking the coffee. You choose to place all of your attention on the sensation, the warmth of the mug in your hands, the dark, rich smell, the bitter taste on your tongue. For those 30 seconds, you have anchored your mind in reality. The armies of past and future are still outside the walls. You can hear them clamoring, but they cannot get in. You have created a small pocket of peace, a moment of pure being. It is the act of washing the dishes, feeling the warm water on your hands, the slippery texture of the soap, the satisfying friction of the sponge against the plate. It is a simple, mundane task, but when you bring your full attention to it, it becomes a form of meditation, a training in presence. Could it be that the antidote to your constant anxiety is not found in solving all your future problems, but in simply returning your attention to the feeling of your breath right now? Could it be that the healing for your past regrets is not in endlessly analyzing them, but in anchoring yourself so firmly in the reality of this moment that the ghosts of yesterday lose their power? This is not about ignoring the past or failing to plan for the future. It is about choosing your location. You visit the past to learn from it, and you visit the future to plan for it. But you must always return to your home base, your fortress, the present moment. That is where your life is actually happening. The frantic, scattered energy of mental time travel begins to calm. The fire of your attention, once wasted across the entire timeline of your life, is now gathered here, in the now. And it becomes a powerful, illuminating light. You start to notice the world again. You start to notice your own life. And a sense of wholeness, of grounded peace, begins to return. The obstacle is not in the way. The obstacle is the way. There's a deep-seated human impulse to see life as something that should be smooth, easy, and comfortable. And when it is not, when an obstacle appears in our path, our immediate reaction is to feel that something has gone wrong. We feel wronged. We feel like a victim. A project at work fails. A relationship ends. You receive a frightening health diagnosis. You lose your job. In these moments, the fire within us turns into a fire of resistance. We burn our energy complaining, wishing things were different, asking why me. We are trying to push against the solid wall of reality, and all we get are bruised hands and a weary heart. The emotional conflict is the profound suffering that comes from fighting what is. We get stuck in the story of our own misfortune, unable to move forward because we are so invested in how things should have been. This resistance is a prison. It locks you into the moment of impact, forcing you to relive it over and over again, draining your power and your spirit. What if the obstacle wasn't a punishment? What if it was a gift in disguise? This is perhaps the most challenging and transformative idea in all of Stoic philosophy. It is the concept of amor fatia, Latin phrase meaning a love of one's fate. While the phrase was made famous by the famed philosopher Nietzsche, the idea is purely Stoic. It was Marcus Aurelius, the emperor, who captured it most powerfully. He wrote in his journal, as a reminder to himself, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is not a simple look on the bright side. It is a radical, profound reframing of reality. The Stoic resolution is to stop seeing obstacles as obstructions to your path, and to start seeing them as the path itself. Every single thing that happens to you, especially the difficult things, is raw material. It is an opportunity to practice virtue, to grow stronger, to learn something you could not have learned any other way. You don't just tolerate hardship. You don't just accept it. You embrace it. You use it. The metaphor is that of forging steel. Raw iron ore is dug from the earth. It is a dull, brittle rock. On its own, it is not very strong. To become steel, it must be subjected to an almost unbearable process. First, it is put into a furnace, into the extreme heat of the fire. This is the hardship, the trial, the thing that feels like it will destroy you. This heat purges the impurities. Then, when it is glowing hot, it is pulled from the fire and placed on an anvil, and it is beaten. It is struck with a heavy hammer over and over again. These are the blows of fate, the setbacks, the failures, the pains. Each blow is jarring. Each blow could shatter the metal. But instead, it compresses it. It aligns its structure. It makes it dense and strong. The iron that avoids the fire and the hammer remains soft, brittle iron. The iron that endures this process is transformed. It becomes steel strong, flexible, resilient, and capable of holding a sharp edge. The hardships of your life are the fire and the hammer. They are not punishments. They are the tools of your transformation. They are what turned the soft iron of your potential into the hard steel of your character. Imagine you receive a piece of harsh criticism at work. It's delivered bluntly, and it stings. The initial impulse, the iron ore impulse, is to become defensive, to feel shame or anger, to attack the person who gave it, to complain about how unfair it is. This is resistance. This is pushing against reality. The steel forging approach is different. After the initial sting, you pause, you take a breath. You let the heat of your emotion cool just a little. And then you ask a powerful question. What here is useful? You look at the criticism, not as an attack, but as a piece of information. As fuel. Maybe 90% of it is just the other person's bad mood. But what if there's 10% of truth in it? What if there's a valuable lesson hidden inside that painful package? You choose to see the obstacle, the criticism, as the way forward. You use it to get better. You have taken what was meant to be a wound, and you have turned it into a weapon for your own growth. Could it be that the worst thing that ever happened to you was also the thing that made you who you are? Could you look back on your deepest struggles not with resentment, but with a strange kind of gratitude for the strength they forged in you? This doesn't mean you have to like pain. It means you choose to see pain as purposeful. You tell yourself, this is here to teach me something. This is here to make me stronger. I will not waste this opportunity. The emotional shift is profound. You move from the powerless feeling of a victim to the empowered stance of an alchemist. You are no longer at the mercy of your life. You are a collaborator with it. The energy you once spent on complaining and resisting is now freed up. It becomes a creative force, a fire that can take any material, even the ugliest and most painful, and forge it into something of value. Into strength, into wisdom, into you. Key 5. The anchor of Arias. Your emotions are not your enemy, but they are very bad guides. There is a unique terror in feeling emotionally out of control. It's the feeling of a stranger being at the wheel of your own car. A wave of panic crests, and every instinct in your body screams at you to flee, to escape, even when there is no real danger. A surge of rage floods your system, and you say cruel, cutting things to someone you love, things you can never fully take back. A thick fog of despair rolls in, and you give up on something that truly matters to you, convinced that all is lost. In these moments, we are terrified of ourselves. We are afraid of the destructive power of our own inner fire. The emotional conflict is this deep-seated fear that our passions are not just strong energies, but irrational, monstrous forces that can capsize our lives and leave us shipwrecked. We try to suppress them, to bottle them up, but that just seems to make the eventual explosion even more violent. What if the goal wasn't to fight the storm, but simply to hold your ground within it? The Stoics, from the school's founder Zeno, the way to Marcus Aurelius, placed a concept called the Logos at the very center of their universe. The Logos can be thought of as the divine reason, the underlying logic and order of the cosmos. And they believe that every human being contains a tiny spark of that cosmic reason. Our ability to think, to analyze, to step back and see the bigger picture, this is our superpower. They understood that we cannot stop the first wave of emotion. That is a physiological reaction, automatic and instant. When you are insulted, you will feel the sting. When you suffer a loss, you will feel the grief. The Stoics were not emotionless robots. but they believe that we have a choice about the second wave. We can choose whether to believe the story the emotion is telling us. We can choose whether to be swept away by it. The resolution is to use our uniquely human capacity for reason as a tool. Reason is not the cold, unfeeling enemy of emotion. It is the wise, calm, trusted advisor to the passionate king or queen that is our heart. When the heart is in an uproar, reason steps forward and gently asks, "Your Majesty, I understand you are angry. But let us examine the facts. Is this impression you have true? Is the response you are planning truly going to serve you?" This is the metaphor of the anchor. Your emotional life is a vast, unpredictable sea, and you are a ship sailing on it. Storms are not optional. They are a guaranteed part of the journey. There will be storms of rage, hurricanes of grief, terrifying squalls of fear. An unanchored mind is a ship tossed helplessly in the storm. It is driven by the winds of passion, crashed against the rocks of poor decisions, its sails torn to shreds by impulsive reactions. The reason is the ship's heavy anchor. When the storm hits, the wise captain doesn't try to fight the waves. That's a losing battle. The wise captain drops the anchor. The anchor doesn't stop the storm. The wind still howls. The waves still crash against the hull. But the ship holds its position. It is not driven into the rocks. It is not lost at sea. It holds steady, waiting for the storm to pass, as all storms eventually do. Imagine you receive an email from your boss that feels passive-aggressive and deeply unfair. The first wave hits you. The hot flush of anger, the feeling of being wronged. The sea of your mind begins to churn. Your fingers are hovering over the keyboard, ready to fire back an equally sarcastic, defensive reply. The winds of rage are pushing you towards the rocks of a career-damaging decision. But then, you remember the anchor. You pause. You don't send the email. You drop the anchor of reason. You take a breath, and you ask yourself a few simple questions. What is my goal here? Is it to prove that I am right and my boss is wrong? Or is it to solve the problem and maintain a professional relationship? Will this angry response I am about to send achieve my true goal? Or will it just make me feel powerful for 5 minutes, followed by weeks of regret? Reason tells you that a fiery response is a terrible idea. You close the draft. You decide to get a glass of water, to walk around the block. You let the emotional storm rage, but you are safely anchored. An hour later, the storm has lost much of its power. You can now look at the email with a cooler head and craft a calm, professional, and far more effective response. You have ridden out the storm. Could it be that your reason is not a cold calculator, but a warm and protective friend whose only job is to keep you safe when your emotions are trying to run the ship aground? Have you ever stopped to thank that quiet, logical part of your mind for all the times it has saved you from your own worst impulses? The shift is from feeling like you are at the mercy of every emotional storm to feeling a sense of stable command. The fear of being hijacked by your feelings is replaced by the quiet confidence that you possess a tool to keep you steady, no matter how hard the wind blows. You have a fire in your heart, but you have an anchor in your mind. A fire without a direction burns itself out, having warmed nothing. There is a particular kind of emptiness that haunts modern life. It's the feeling of being incredibly busy, but not productive, of moving fast, but not going anywhere. We burn our inner fire pursuing the goals we are told we should want. More money, a better job title, a bigger house, more followers, more praise. And some of us even achieve these things. We climb the ladder of success with all our might, using every ounce of our ambition and drive. And then we get to the top, only to discover, with a sickening feeling, that our ladder was leaning against the wrong wall the whole time. The view from the top is not what we imagined. It is hollow. It is lonely. The emotional conflict is the existential dread of a life filled with activity, but devoid of meaning. Your inner fire is powerful, yes, but it has no purpose beyond its own expansion. It's like a powerful engine in a car that is just driving in circles in a vast, empty desert. The Stoics offered a radical and liberating solution to this. They argued that the goal of life, the telos, was not happiness or wealth or success. The goal of life was eudaimonia, which is often translated as flourishing. But it is a flourishing of the soul, not the bank account. And the only way to achieve it was to live a life of erit virtue, or excellence of character. This is the ultimate direction for your fire. The Stoics believed there were 4 cardinal virtues that contained all others. Wisdom, the ability to know what is truly good, what is bad, and what is merely indifferent. Justice, the commitment to act with fairness and kindness towards others. Courage, the capacity to face difficulty and pain with integrity. And temperance, the mastery over our own desires, the ability to have enough. These 4 virtues are the true north. The Stoic resolution is to aim the entirety of your fire, not at external targets, but at the internal target of embodying these virtues. The goal is not to have more, but to be more. This is the only pursuit, they argued, that could never be taken from you, and the only one that guarantees a life of deep and abiding fulfillment. This is the metaphor of the compass. Imagine you are lost in a vast dark wilderness at night. Your inner fire, your passion, your energy is a torch. The torch is incredibly useful. It can keep you warm. It can ward off animals. It can show you the ground right in front of your feet, so you don't trip over a root. But the torch cannot tell you which way to go. You could wander for 40 years in that wilderness, your torch burning brightly the whole time, and die just 100 feet from the path home. You would have a life full of motion, but no progress. Virtue is the compass. It does not light up the whole forest. It does not remove the obstacles. But in the darkness, it always reliably points north. It gives your journey a direction. It ensures that every step you take, illuminated by the torch of your passion, is a step in a meaningful direction. You are faced with a choice at work. There is a shortcut you can take. It's a little dishonest. It involves cutting a corner or shifting blame to a colleague, but it would almost certainly lead to a promotion. Your torch of ambition burns brightly, showing you this tempting path. But then you consult the compass of virtue, and the needle of justice points away from that path. The needle of courage points towards the harder, more honest path of taking responsibility. The needle of wisdom tells you that a promotion gained through deceit is not a true good. You choose the harder path. You might miss out on the promotion, but you gain something far more valuable, a quiet, unshakable feeling of integrity, the feeling of being aligned with your truest self. That feeling is a warmth that no job title can ever provide. What if your primary goal was no longer to be successful, but to be good? How would that change the way you spend your energy, your fire? This moves you from a state of aimless, anxious striving to one of purposeful action. The desperate search for external validation fades away, replaced by the calm, dignified pursuit of internal excellence. Your fire finally has a purpose. It is to fuel your journey north. Your pain is not a wall that separates you from others. It is a bridge. There's a profound loneliness that can accompany a powerful inner fire. When you are full of ambition or wrestling with intense emotions, it is easy to feel that your struggle is unique, that no one else understands. Your fire can feel like a private burden, a secret you carry that cuts you off from the rest of humanity. This perspective turns the world into a hostile place. Others become either obstacles to your goals or competitors for the same scarce resources. Or worse, they become a faceless audience whose judgment you fear. This ego-driven life is exhausting. It is a life of suspicion, of comparison, of alienation. It is a life where your fire is used only for self-preservation or self-advancement, and so it slowly starves from a lack of connection. What if your fire was never meant to be yours alone? Marcus Aurelius, alone in his tent on the cold frontiers of the Roman Empire, was constantly reminding himself of a concept the Stoics called sympathia. It is the conviction that all things in the universe are interconnected, woven together into a single seamless fabric. He wrote to himself, "Revere the gods and look after each other. Life is short." And perhaps most famously, what is not good for the beehive cannot be good for the bee. He understood that the idea of a separate, isolated self is an illusion. We are all parts of a larger whole. We are leaves on the same tree, bees in the same hive. The resolution, then, is a profound shift in perspective. You must realize that your inner fire is not a private possession. It is a spark from the same universal fire that animates every other person on this planet. Your purpose is not just to tend to your own tiny flame. It is to use your warmth and your light to contribute to the whole. Helping others, showing compassion, acting for the common good. This is not a selfless sacrifice. It is the highest and most intelligent form of self-interest. Because when the beehive thrives, the bee thrives. The metaphor is that of the shared flame. Imagine a large group of people standing together in a vast, dark cavern. Each person is holding a single, unlit candle. This is a life of isolation. And then, one candle is lit. This is you, discovering your inner fire. The ego-driven impulse is to hoard that flame, to protect it from the wind, to cup your hands around it, to focus only on keeping your own small circle of light from going out. You might be able to see your own feet, but you are still surrounded by darkness, and you are utterly alone. But then, you try something different. You reach out and use your flame to light the candle of the person standing next to you. Does your own flame diminish? No, it remains just as bright. But now, the total amount of light in the cavern has doubled. And the person you helped now turns and lights the candle of another. And that person lights another. Sympathia is this realization. It is the understanding that we are all in this dark cavern together, and the only way to fill it with light is to share our flame. Every act of kindness, every moment of empathy, every time you choose cooperation over competition, you are lighting another candle. You are at work and you see a colleague struggling. They look stressed, overwhelmed, on the verge of tears. The old, isolated instinct is to look away, to think, "I'm glad that's not me. I have my own mountain of work to deal with." You protect your own flame. The path of sympathia is to walk over. Not with answers, not to solve their problem, but just to connect. To quietly ask, "Hey, are you okay? It looks like a tough day. Anything I can do?" In that moment, a bridge is built across the gap of your separateness. You have used your flame to light theirs. And a strange thing happens. As you offer them your warmth, you feel warmer yourself. As you ease their burden, your own feels lighter. You are reminded that your well-being is intrinsically tied to theirs. You are reminded that you are both part of the same hive. Could it be that the loneliness you feel is not a result of your unique struggles, but a result of your belief that they are unique? What would happen if you began to see every other person not as a competitor, but as another candle waiting to be lit? The emotional journey here is from a state of cold, ego-driven isolation to a profound and warm sense of interconnectedness. Your fire is no longer a tool for climbing over others. It becomes a resource for lifting them up. And in doing so, you lift yourself. You are dying a death by 1,000 paper cuts, and you are the one holding the blade. We live in a state of constant low-grade emotional agitation, and we have come to accept it as normal. Think about how much of your precious inner fire is wasted every single day on things that, in the grand scheme of your one and only life, do not matter in the slightest. You are drained by office gossip. You are thrown off balance by a rude comment from a stranger online. You are consumed with envy by someone else's curated vacation photos. You are angered by the driver who is going too slow in the fast lane. You are frustrated by a minor inconvenience. Like the Wi-Fi going out for 10 minutes. Each of these things is a tiny leak in the vessel of your soul, a small cut. On its own, it is nothing. But add them up, over the course of a day, a week, a year, and you are bleeding out your life force. Your powerful fire is not being used to create or to love. It is being leaked away on 1,000 trivialities, leaving you with no energy left for what is truly important. The emotional conflict is the deep exhaustion that comes from caring too much about all the wrong things. The Stoics had a powerful antidote for this. They called it apatheia. And this is a word that is easily misunderstood. It does not mean apathy. It does not mean becoming a cold, careless, unfeeling person. Apatheia means tranquility. It is the state of being undisturbed by the passions that arise from false judgments. It is the calm that comes from knowing what is and is not worth your emotional investment. Following the teachings of Epictetus, the resolution is to practice a noble form of indifference. This is a conscious, active process. You must become the fierce guardian of your own attention. You must decide what is worthy of your fire and what is just noise. The things worthy of your fire are your own actions, your own character, your duties to others, the things that fall within the circle of your control. Everything else other. People's opinions, trivial annoyances, fame, fortune, health, you must learn to classify as an indifferent. This doesn't mean you don't care if you get sick. It means you understand that your health is ultimately not in your control. You do everything you can to be healthy, your actions, but you do not attach your inner peace to the outcome. You accept what comes. You treat these indifferent things with care, but you do not give them the power to destroy your tranquility. This is the metaphor of the cool river. Imagine a wide, deep, powerful river flowing steadily towards the sea. This river is your mind. On its journey through life, on the riverbank, a village is on fire. There's chaos, drama, noise. People are running and shouting. The village is the external world, with all its trivial dramas and provocations. The river acknowledges the fire. The flames are reflected on its surface. The light dances on the water. The river is not ignorant of the chaos on the bank. But the fire does not heat the river. The shouting does not change its course. The drama on the bank does not divert the river from its destination. It remains cool, calm, and continues its inevitable journey to the ocean. Your mind can be this river. It can acknowledge the chaos of the world, the annoying email, the political outrage, the social media drama without becoming disturbed by it. It can reflect the flames without being consumed by them. You are scrolling on your phone. You see a post that is perfectly engineered to provoke you, to make you angry or envious. You feel the initial tug, the familiar hook in your gut. The village on the riverbank has just burst into flames. The old you would have dived into that fire, joining the shouting, adding your own anger to the blaze. But now you practice being the river. You see the post. You acknowledge the feeling it is trying to create in you. And you make a conscious choice. You say to yourself quietly, "This is not worthy of my fire. This is indifferent to me." And you just keep scrolling. You let the river of your attention flow past it. A moment later, you have completely forgotten about it. It has no power over you. You have just performed a sacred act of self-preservation. You have saved a piece of your life force. What would your life feel like if you could reclaim all the energy you currently waste on things that don't matter? How much more fire would you have for your family, your real work, your own well-being? The shift is from a state of chronic agitation and emotional leakage to a feeling of calm discernment and preserved power. You become an energy millionaire because you have stopped spending your fire on psychic junk food. The power here lies not in what you engage with, but in all the things you wisely, peacefully choose to ignore. Wisdom that is not lived is just a rumor. This is the final key, and it is the one that locks all the others into place. Without it, everything we have talked about remains a beautiful idea, a pleasant mental vacation from which you will soon return to your old life. The emotional conflict is one of the most frustrating in all of human experience. It is the gap between knowing and doing. You read a book, you listen to a podcast, you watch a video like this one, and you feel a surge of clarity. You get it. You feel inspired. This time, you tell yourself, it will be different. But then, the friction of real life returns. The alarm clock rings on Monday morning. The emails pile up. The old triggers appear. And within a day, or maybe two, you find yourself right back in the old patterns of reaction, of anxiety, of wasted energy. And a voice in your head whispers, "See, you can't change. It's hopeless." This creates a sense of discouragement, a belief that real, lasting transformation is for other people, not for you. The Stoics knew this. They understood that philosophy was not something you learned, but something you did. It was a daily, hourly practice. Seneca wasn't just writing philosophical treatises. He was writing letters of practical advice to his friends, telling them how to handle their grief, their anger, their fear today. Epictetus demanded that his students not just quote his teachings, but show him through their actions that they had embodied them. The resolution is the commitment to practice. Not when you feel like it, not when you are inspired, but every single day, especially on the days you don't feel like it. The goal is to turn these abstract ideas into concrete, physical habits, to build them into the architecture of your day. This is the metaphor of tending a fire. You cannot go out into the woods, build one magnificent bonfire, and expect it to keep you warm for the rest of the winter. That's absurd. A fire requires constant, gentle tending. You have to protect it from the wind and the rain. You have to clear away the old ash. And every single day, you have to add a few new logs. These small, daily rituals, these are the logs you add to your inner fire. They are not glamorous. They are not heroic. No one will give you an award for them. But they are the sole reason your fire will not go out. They are what turn a momentary spark of insight into a steady, reliable flame of wisdom. What does this look like in real life? It is brutally simple that it can be a morning ritual. Before you look at your phone, before the world rushes in, you sit for 5 minutes. You think about the day ahead. You practice what the Stoics called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. You don't imagine disasters. You simply think, today I will likely encounter someone who is rude. I will likely face a moment of frustration. I will likely be tempted to waste my time. And you decide, in advance, how you will use the Stoic keys to meet those moments with virtue and calm. You are preparing your mind for the day. You are adding the first log to the fire. It can be an evening ritual. You take out a notebook. You don't have to write a masterpiece. You just answer 2 questions, as Epictetus suggested his students do. What did I do wrong today? Where did I let my fire get out of control? Where did I forget my principles? And what did I do right? Where did I act with courage? Where did I choose reason over reaction? This simple act of review is you tending the fire, clearing away the ash from the day, and banking the embers for the night. This small, quiet, unheroic act of sitting with yourself for 5 minutes. This is where the entire war for your soul is won or lost. Could you commit to just one small practice? Not for a year, not for a month, but just for today? Could you see this not as another chore on your to-do list, but as the most sacred act of self-care you can perform? The shift is from the passive hope of intellectual insight to the active, grounded commitment of lived practice. It closes the gap between the person you want to be and the person you are today. It builds a quiet confidence that change is not only possible, but inevitable with small, steady, daily effort. You are no longer just a student of this philosophy. You are becoming a living embodiment of it. For this entire journey, we have been operating under a hidden assumption. And now it is time to bring it into the light. The subtle emotional conflict that may still remain inside you, even after learning these keys, is the feeling that this is a war, that there is a good part of you, your reason, your discipline, the guard in the watchtower, and a bad part of you, your fire, your passion, your anger, your fear. The struggle is still framed as one of control, of suppression. The good part must conquer the bad part, but this is the final illusion to be released. If you continue to see yourself as a house divided, you will never find true peace. You will only find a temporary, exhausting truce. The ultimate Stoic insight, the great secret at the heart of the philosophy, is that the goal was never to extinguish the fire. It was never to defeat your passions. It was to integrate them. The path is not one of suppression, but of transformation. The raw, chaotic energy of your emotions is not evil. It is not wrong. It is simply raw material. It is base metal. Your anger is a sign that a boundary has been crossed. It contains immense energy for justice. Your fear is a sign that something you value is at risk. It contains immense energy for protection. Your ambition is a sign of your desire to grow and contribute. It contains immense energy for creation. These things are not your enemies. They are your allies, waiting to be understood and properly employed. The 9 keys are not weapons to kill your passions. They are an alchemical formula to transmute them. The fortress of the present moment is not there to starve the fire. It is there to contain and channel it, making its heat more focused and powerful. The anchor of reason is not there to drown the heart. It is there to keep the heart safe, so its powerful currents can take you to beautiful places. Your reason and your passion are not 2 warring kings, fighting for control of your inner kingdom. They are partners. They are meant to rule together, one with wisdom and foresight, the other with energy and power. This is the metaphor of the alchemist. The ancient alchemist sought to turn lead into gold. A foolish alchemist would hate the lead. He would see it as ugly, heavy, worthless. He would try to destroy it. But a wise alchemist reveres the lead. They see its potential. They understand that this dull common metal contains a secret golden nature. And they know that with the right process, the careful application of fire, the mixing of the right elements, the patient purification, its true nature can be revealed. You are the alchemist of your own soul. Your anxiety, your anger, your sadness, your ambition, this is your lead. Do not hate it. Do not discard it. It is your great treasure, the 9 Stoic keys we have discussed. This is your secret formula. Your life is the laboratory. The work is to patiently, lovingly apply these principles and to slowly transmute the heavy lead of raw, chaotic emotion into the shining gold of virtuous, purposeful, steady power. Imagine looking at yourself in the mirror after a long period of this practice. You are no longer looking at someone who is too anxious or too angry or too sensitive. You are no longer seeing a broken person who needs to be fixed. Instead, you see a source of immense energy, a deep well of power that you are finally learning how to draw from with wisdom, with skill, and with love. You see that your sensitivity is the source of your compassion. You see that your anger is the source of your passion for justice. You see that your anxiety is the source of your conscientiousness and care. It is a moment of profound and quiet self-acceptance, a deep understanding that all parts of you belong. The war is over. The emotional shift is the most profound one of all. It is the movement from a mindset of control and self-suppression to one of transformation and integration. The inner civil war finally ends, replaced by a sense of wholeness, of peace, and of a quiet, formidable power that comes from a soul that is finally at one with itself. We began this journey with the image of an uncontrolled bonfire, spectacular, but dangerous, chaotic, and destined to burn out, leaving behind only cold ash. Through this alchemical process, through the patient application of these 9 keys, that fire has been transformed. The wild bonfire has been gathered, contained, and brought inside. It is now an inner hearth. A hearth is the heart of a home. It is a fire that is controlled, contained, and purposeful. It doesn't threaten to burn the house down. It becomes the center of life. It provides a steady, reliable source of warmth against the winter cold. It provides a soft, gentle light in the darkness. It is a place where people gather, where stories are told, where connection happens. Your inner fire, now managed by these principles, is no longer a source of anxiety and burnout. It has become the hearth of your soul. It is the steady, reliable source of your resilience. It is the quiet engine of your creativity. It is the warm light of your compassion. It is your steady power. The journey to master your inner fire is not a battle to be won once, but a craft to be practiced for a lifetime. It is the quiet, dignified, daily work of becoming the keeper of your own soul, of tending your own hearth. You do not need to be afraid of your own power anymore. You do not need to run from your own intensity. You just needed the wisdom to guide it, the love to hold it, and the courage to transform it. The fire is now yours to command. Let it warm you, let it guide you, and let it illuminate your path. Subscribe for more guidance on your path.